Welcome back to the channel, and today we have another ball review, but today we are going to do a scientific experiment with the Real-Time, the newest Ebonite ball. We have a solid. It's pretty shiny out of box. Go ahead and check out our first 10 with this ball on our second channel, Nate Elise Extras. Had a good time with this, as you'll see, but we don't have one Real-Time. We have two Real-Times. They are both drilled the exact same. That's how we are gonna do the experiment. And you might be asking, how are we gonna do an experiment with the same ball, drilled the same way? Well, if you put this one on a scale, it weighs 14 pounds versus my other one that weighs 15, which is what I normally throw. Today we are going to try to answer the question whether 15 versus 14 makes a big difference in carry. And as you've probably seen in past times, a lot of pros have switched between 15 and 14 in the past couple years. Some say it's just obviously due to preventative for injury, but some also say that their carry is better. So we are going to take the Real-Time today, see how it looks with my normal layout, 14, 15, and see which one can strike more. I went ahead and put a blue piece of tape on the pin on the 14 pounds, so that way we both know the difference. And that way when you guys see the ball go down the lane, you know for sure it is the 14-pound bowling ball, because we all know I will probably pick up the wrong one and not know which one I'm throwing down the lane. So this is for me and you visually. This experiment should be pretty interesting because I am bowling on a more broken down shot with a solid ball, which I would typically not throw this ball, but it might really be able to show the difference between the 14 and 15 pounds, because I am having to get a little bit further left from where I would normally throw this ball with the clip and see which one can come around the corner more. Stuck a little bit, dug. Okay. Not much to say there. Warm up shot. I haven't bowled since last Sunday. If you guys haven't checked out that vlog where I started to bowl, I pulled out because my hip, I just knew I was gonna go to the ground and no one was gonna get me up. So today is my first day back. So excuse me if I make the ball look bad. This is going to be very interesting considering I don't ever mess around with weight and I haven't bowled in a while. So this is really gonna mess up my timing. But for you guys, this is what I do. Same spot, I'm just gonna stand in the same spot. Any move I make today, I'm gonna make the same with both bowling balls. Okay, so this is where I said it might be interesting, because with the 14 pound further left, it might actually look better for me because my speed is probably going to be a little bit higher and it's not going to slow down as much with me in the 14, whereas the 15 is going to. So the 14 actually might look better today with what we're bowling on, but that's what we're going to find out. Like I said, I would not normally throw this ball on such a big cliff because it is a solid. It is going to 10 pin a lot just naturally because of what I am bowling on, but it is still getting in the pocket. It is very smooth.
So the only difference between the two balls is that the RG is a little bit higher on the 14 than it is the 15.
Am I switching to 14 pounds on this channel? But as you can see, the 14 pounds is a little bit cleaner from left. The difference in weight when we're talking about a weight obviously comes in the weight block. The core design is still the same when you have a ball over 12 pounds. It's just obviously they have to shave off a little bit to get it to that weight. So that's what makes the difference in carry and characteristics when you go from weight to weight. Obviously the cover stock still stays the same. So yeah, I'm really seeing a huge difference in really the back end reaction between the 15 and 14. The 15 is definitely a way more round coming off the end of the pattern versus the 14 right now. If I shoot 300 with this 14-pound bowling ball, every other video you see from now on will be in 14 pounds, people. Yeah, a lot smoother off the spot. Same, pretty much the same every shot. The 15 is way smoother. That is pretty typical as you go up in ball weight, that the more you move left, the less back end motion you are going to get off the core. And now I don't mean it's not gonna hook, but there has been studies and stuff showing that as you get into even like a 16-pound bowling ball, it really makes a bigger difference as you move left versus if we threw them all pretty straight, we probably wouldn't see as big a difference, but just moving left. So I said this would probably be a really good telltale of the difference, especially for me. I'm seeing a huge difference in ball reaction down lane versus the 15 and 14. That's actually insane, the difference in just, I almost threw those pretty identical. Obviously, like I said, throwing the 14 pounds, I'm able to get my hand naturally more around it, which is great. This probably just tells me that if I was to throw solids, obviously staying in my 15 pounds, I might have to play around with a little bit more layouts to get it to pop a little bit more when I'm in this zone. Smooth. Okay, so that one I kept it in the oil a little bit longer, didn't get it as far right. So I didn't get it so far away from the 1-3 and it dug. Now, I do think if I did the same thing with the 14 pounds, it probably would leave the 10 pin versus go through the pins like the 15 does. I still haven't made any adjustments to where I'm standing so far. Okay, that one is a perfect example. I kept it in. Still pretty sharp. That was just a bad shot. We'll cut to the next shot. Oh, I sent that one right. Oh, it got there. Seems like I either have to send the 15 pretty far right to get it to carry so it can get in the forward roll quicker going into the pocket, or I have to keep it in, versus the 14 where I can kind of send it right to where I want it down lane, like around 8, 7. And it looks good, but didn't look as great when I tugged it in. I am going to make an adjustment on this shot, and that is throw it better. Sometimes that is an adjustment. Was this just me trying to just show you guys how I'm switching to 14 pounds only when I get left of 20? Can you imagine? Like instead of just being a one-hander, two-hander, you just have left of 20, 14 pounds, right of 20, 15.
She means with her feet.
What?
You mean with your feet.
Oh yeah, sorry, with my feet. Before I throw this next shot, I do want to say, I do not recommend throwing this ball on a burnt up house shot. This is not when I would throw it, but I thought this is what I had today. This would be a good video to kind of showcase where you're really going to see the difference of 14 to 15 pounds. But for me especially, I would not be throwing a solid on a burnt up house shot. There's way better bowling balls that you can throw on this type of stuff. But it actually is still looking pretty good. Obviously the 14 is looking a little bit better, but I'm still getting 9. So it's just telling me that the ball is not quite getting into the roll phase as quick as I need it to, but it still looks good. You have nothing to say.
Okay.
That's it.
Nice.
I will say with 14 pounds, I can feel when it gets to the top of my swing, and I'm like, just wait, because I really think that's why I threw that one bad shot, because I got to the top and I was like ready to give it everything, and I turned my shoulder. So, yeah. That's what I just had to say. Yeah, this 15 is just, it's rolling a little bit earlier. It's not really getting through the front part of the lane, just not giving me the length I want like the 14 is. And then obviously I'm rolling it a little bit more at the 15. That's just naturally gonna be how I throw it with the 15 versus the 14 is giving me a little bit more time to get around it. So not mad about that. That one I didn't quite throw it as far to the right, but still a good shot. I'm just really good at getting 9. Put me in, coach. If you need 9 and a spare, I got you. Nate told me to try and loft it, so I'm going to try and loft it for you guys with the 15-pound bowling ball. There we go, I lofted it and it struck, so.
Ball rep Nate in the building.
Nate thinks I'm like, in my head, I'm setting up and I'm like, all right, we're gonna give this one the good rumper dumper right now. This is it. Ooh, that one ran it over.
Ran it over.
Obviously, if I was going to pick a ball right now, I'd pick the 14. Now, if I think I was bowling on a heavier volume pattern with the same ball, 15, 14, the 15 would look way better. You want the rumper dumper, or you want me to, or the thumper? You want the thumper dumper, or do you want me to loft it again?
No, we should definitely loft it because it'll look better.
Okay, I just needed to know so in my setup. But the thumper dumper.
There's the bumper stumper.
The bumper stumper thumper rumper. Merch coming soon. Okay, so I'm in the 10th frame. We can strike out for 227 with the 15 pound. Giving it the good old lofter rofter.
Now we're just being
Just
dumb.
making some rhymes. I'm gonna move a little bit left though. I am moving like 2 boards left just to see what happens.
Good call.
Still got there. I do think as I moved further and further left and I had to shut down my angles that the 15 would start looking better because I needed to get into that heavier roll phase, more forward roll versus the 14 that's more angular and it has a shorter roll phase. So I think as I move left, the 15 would start to look better as I shut down my angles. So we're actually gonna do that with the snapper dapper. We're gonna actually move, I'm gonna over move with the 14 off of where I just was. So I made a 2 board move off of where we previously were. I'm going to make a 4 board move to try to test that theory with the 14 pounds.
There's the little blue pin.
There's the blue pin, here we go. 4 board move. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting. Now, we're gonna test the theory and I'm going to stand in the same spot with the 15 pound and see if it carries.
So 15 versus 14.
The 14 won.
14 clearly won.
I am excited. I will do this on a different pattern with these. I want to put them at a lower surface where I'm playing further right on a long pattern and see how they actually work. All right guys, before I throw this last shot with the 15 pound bowling ball further left to test it, I want to tell you to go check out Nanny Lease Extras where you can see this 15 pound first 10 shots out of the box. I did not throw it before. When we get to 1,000 subscribers over there, we are going to give away a ball. So make sure you go check that out if you're not already on our Extras channel. But today, give us a merch idea in the comments. We're working on it. We've had a lot of questions about our merch and what we're going to do. We want to make sure it's really right before we put anything out for you guys, but we have a big project that we're still working on. So that'll be in the near future. But in the comments, put a merch idea and the most liked comment will be our winner for the 14 pound real time. After we do the next video where I test it on a longer pattern so we can show you guys that. But after that video, we'll be giving that ball away to the most liked comment, merch idea
On this video.
on this video. Did I say that right?
Yeah,
I don't think I did, but let's throw this last shot.
Okay.
We're gonna give it the spinner winner. Is it gonna do it? It's not, and
Well, you gave it the spinner.
What?
It wasn't a winner though.
It wasn't a spinner or a winner. I did get half a loaf, so now I can feed your family. See you guys in the next video.
All right, this is the outtake with Elise's thoughts, and I'd rather not go start.
Okay, that was a better shot.
More than
Okay.
I'm gonna get the full loaf.
So my prediction is actually real. If I moved left and I actually threw a good shot, it struck, so it did. But I'm just glad I got to feed my family.